Hey DIYers, and welcome back to the Become a Front-End Developer series. Last video we set up our structure, created all our HTML, and in this episode we're going to make it all look correct. So we're going to dive right in. The first thing I want to talk about is the style sheet, and I personally use a CSS Reset, which basically every browser kind of has its own little set of quirks as far as their base style sheet for everything. Or if you were to put a page up there that had no styling whatsoever, it would kind of do some of its own styling by itself. And there are things that developers have found that are kind of not necessary, that are part of the base HTML style stack. And so a couple of different kinds have come up with these, what they call resets. You put them at the very beginning of your CSS document, and it basically creates a blank slate for every browser where you're kind of all starting from the same position. So I'm going to use Normalized, which is what I pretty much use most of the time. And that's Normalized was created by Nicholas Gallagher, I think. I'm assuming it's Nicholas because it's spelled like that and it's his username. He's got a bunch of stuff. The guy is sharp. He's got a bunch of followers on GitHub. But more specifically, we're looking at this Normalized CSS. It's a really simple, it's 425 lines, and that's fine. I don't care because, to be honest, it's perfect. It's exactly what I like. But that's what we're going to use. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Let's go ahead and let's get rid of images. Let's create a new folder in our display folder. We're going to call this, I think it's CSS. And inside that, we're going to create a new file called styles.css. So in here, let's just go ahead and drop our normalize in there. I just copied and pasted that. So it's a lot of stuff, but it's okay. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of space here. All right. So we have our normalize. So let's, what is it? It's like, no, star. Yeah. All right. Our styles. Alright, so, and this will all be up on GitHub eventually. I need to get that rolling. I got a couple other things I wanted to put up there. But here we go. We've got our styles. Let's just start at the top and work our way down. Yeah, that works. That's exactly what we're looking for. Alright. How do we want to do this is the next question. We're going to get rid of row 1. There's going to be rows. Alright, so now we have header. Let's start with header. So we got header. We're going to say width is 100%. Alright. We'll say display block, even though it technically already does. And then inside, we're going to do header row. Oops, need a dot. Header row. So that means all the rows in header. We're going to have a width of 960 pixels, and we're going to give it a margin of 0 pixels and then auto. And what this should do is it should take it and center it. It's basically saying the margin for the top and bottom is 0 and 0, but the margin for the left and right is auto, basically saying center it. So let's save that and see what it does. Take a look. Boom. And now you have centered content. It doesn't look centered because all the other content is all jacked up. But if you were to inspect this element, bring that up, and hover over, you would see that it's in the middle of that page, which is exactly what we want. So now we're going to style our header. Actually, we can probably, did I call this something specific? I did not. Okay. I'm going to put a class on this. We're going to say class social. Social icons. Alright, so now we're going to do, so we're going to do dot social icons. We're going to say So that's actually calling the UL, which is unordered list. So we're gonna, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do list style type is none. What that's gonna do is, you see there's dots there now. When we refresh, the dots are gone because I took those off. We're gonna do margin 0 pixels. Oops. 0 pixels, padding 0 pixels, and then that'll take all the default padding that is on a unordered list for the indenting, basically. I think that should do it. Technically, I think I'm going to do a float right on this, just so it's out there. And then for logo, I'm not actually going to float left. I don't like floating a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. We'll float this one thing right. And then this is just going to be display inline block is what it's going to be. And that, yeah, that should do that. Then this dot social icons .li, so those are going to be all the list items in here are going to be display inline. And let me check. Let's go to our images real quick and let's see how big these icons are. If you get info properties on a Windows machine, it's 35 by 34. So we're going to go ahead and set the width of these two. So it's width 35 pixels, height 34 pixels. Oops, pixels. That should do it, I believe. So now if we refresh, this should jump over here and they should all kind of be in line. Look at that. Perfect. So now I know I said that we were not going to... I feel like something's missing. Oh, okay. There is... Okay. Alright, so... we feel like something's missing, doesn't it? Something just doesn't feel right padding-wise. Let's compare our mock to our... what we see, and there you go. There's your problem. The problem is that there's not enough space here and here. So let's dive back into the code here a little bit and let's tweak that. So what should we do? I think we should probably put some margin on the row. Or actually, no, we're going to put some padding on our row, which is exactly what we need. Because, so we're going to say 15 pixels on the top, 0 pixels on the right, 0 pixels on, let's do 10 pixels on the bottom and 0 pixels on the left. So when you're building it out for padding, for margin, and I'm sure there's something else too, but for padding and margin for sure, and we'll come across more as we go. This is top, this is right, this is bottom, and this is left. So it starts at the top and it goes clockwise. So let's save that. And let's see if that helped the padding at all. You know what? The reality is we probably need to put a margin top on this. So we're going to run these out as 0 pixels because we don't want any other margin on it. Yeah, let's see how that does. I don't know if that's going to work like we want it to, but let's see if that works. And there you have it. We got a nice bit of padding here. Kind of space it out a little bit. Let's see how close it is to our mock. You know, we could probably use a little bit more. You know, I'm actually okay with this. This feels a little too far from the top for me. Alright, so then the last thing we want to do, so let's check out something real quick. Let's inspect our element. And let's take a look at this row. Where does the bottom of it land? You know, I think we need to add a little bit more padding to the bottom, because what we're going to do on this row here is we're actually going to throw a border bottom on it. Crazy, I know, but I think that will actually allow us to not have to put a horizontal rule or anything crazy like that. Yeah, I like that. Let's go with that. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump back to the code. And I'm going to put some padding, probably 20 pixels. We'll double the padding on the bottom. And then here, well, before I do this, I'm going to show you something. So we're going to do border, bottom, and the shorthand for this is 1 pixel, solid, and then your color. So we'll just call it, it's probably, CCC is probably good. So I'm going to show you what happens here. So if I do this, we jump over here. Oh, whoa. We only wanted it here. Why did we get another one down below here? That's what we wanted. Well, this style here is actually hitting all the rows that are inside header, and there are 2 rows. There's our row that has our logo and our social icons, and then there's the row that has the navigation. So, how do we handle that? Well, what you could do, there's a bunch of different ways to handle it. The way I like to handle it, we're going to do header.row, and then all you're going to do is first child. And then you're going to move this from here to here. Close that up, tighten that, save it. So what this does is it looks at header and then all the rows, and then it finds the very first row only, and then it adds this style to it. So now if we save this and we go back, now you only have the border bottom on that one alone. This one does not have it. You know what's funny is, did I even check? Yeah, we're good. Okay. So there it is. That's all it is. So let's move on to the next piece, which is the navigation. We're going to add a class here called navigation, just because I kind of just was rolling through the last episode, which didn't feel like it because it was like 30 minutes long. But alright, so we've got, speaking of which, we're already at the 12-minute mark here, so we need to keep moving. So now we've got the navigation. So the navigation has a bunch of list items again, underlined text, which we don't really want. So let's scroll down here. Let's do navigation. Whoop. Double curly brace, not what we want. Okay, so we're going to do this very similar. So we're going to do list style type, none, margin, 0 pixels, padding, 0 pixels. And that should do it for that, and then we'll do navigation li dot navigation li. We're gonna say yeah, we'll do display inline, and I'm not gonna set a width this time, so we probably need to do display inline block. What that'll do is it'll set it to the width of its containing element, which those are anchor tags, aren't they? We may need to set those anchor tags to block as well, because I don't think anchors are by default block. So let's go ahead and reload and see what happened. Okay, that's not bad. That actually is not too bad at all. So what do we got? So we need to create some padding, and we need to change the fonts and the colors. Okay. So we have. So I mean, overall, I'm okay with the way this looks. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but so I'm gonna throw more styling on this. We're gonna do 0 pixels, 0 pixels. So I want this left side to kind of match up with that D in the logo. So we'll probably need 5 pixels, I'm betting, and then. So now inside of the navigation, so we'll do navigation li, and then the anchor tag. So we'll say text decoration first, none. Text decoration none will get rid of that underline. We're going to say color is, let's actually jump over to our PSD and grab a couple colors here. Because to be honest, I am not 100% sure. It's fine, I just want the color. Alright, so we have that. So I'm just going to drop down and dump that in there. Let's hide this. Let's grab this next one, which is actually going to be this color. Right? Okay. Then we're going to say font weight. We're going to give this font weight a bold. And then we're also going to say text transform uppercase, which this will make it all uppercase instead of it being lowercase and capitalized and all that. And then that way, if a search engine finds it, you're not gonna be seeing all capital letters if you type it all in. It looks better on a search engine. I can't say it helps with search engine optimization, but it might. Who knows? Google has all kinds of crazy rules. All right, so now we have navigation LIA hover. And so this time we're going to make the color this green color. So when you hover over it, it'll change that green color. And then the last thing, navigation LIA active, I believe is what I want. And oops, color. Okay. So let's take a look at what we got now. So we probably need to add some more spacing in there, but overall, if we hover, green, beautiful. The only thing that's not really working is the active, which is fine. I really don't care about that one. Is it visited? Can't. So technically, they're all technically visited because the anchors are the same. I'm gonna get rid of this for now. For now, we'll go ahead and comment it out. And then once we actually have anchor tags and all that, then they'll know whether it's visited or active. Because technically it's not active right now because it's not the URL, which, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. We're going to keep moving here. It's doing what I wanted to do overall. It's hovering. So let's go back up here to our LIs, and then we're going to add some margin here. We're going to say 0 pixels to the top. We don't really need, well, I say that, but I think, yeah, we need to give it a little more space on the top, but not that way. So we're going to say top 0 pixels, right 10 pixels, bottom 0 pixels, and then we're going to do left 10 pixels again. So now let's bring that up and see how the spacing looks. Spacing looks much more spot on. I think this, oh, well, you know what? We probably don't need this now. Probably don't need this, other than, well, I say that. And we will need it, because I'm going to throw 15 pixels, 0, 0, 0. And that's the only way to do shorthand. You don't necessarily have to put the pixels on if it's just 0. That was, 15 was too much. Let's change it back to 10. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty close. You know, it should still be, yeah. Okay. So I just kind of took a little bit of heat off of it. I'm actually going to add it back here. But I like where this is going overall, so we're good there. So now, the trick with this slider is this image has to be full width. So the first thing we're going to do real quick is we're not going to build the slider in this episode. That's going to be an episode all in itself, because it's not that it's complicated. I just want to make sure that you guys understand everything we're doing. So, you know what? I'm just going to hard code this in because I don't want to take forever on this. Display none. And so what this is going to do is inline style. It's just going to make the other one just going to go away, which is all we want right now. So let's make, let's look at what we want to keep that commented space around the same spot. So we want our main row. Is that right? Main? It's a little weird. I think it'll be fine, but it's weird. Main.row, we're going to say width 100%, right? Display block. Again, not really necessary, but do it anyways. And then within main, we are going to hit the slider. We're going to do slider. I'm going to say width. Let's go to 100%. Height is equal to auto, I believe is what we're going to do. And then that should do that. And then if we do slider, image, we're going to say width 100%, height auto. This should make it go full width for us. It didn't. What did it do? Why did it do it? Nothing. It did nothing. It doesn't look like it changed even a little bit. Am I misspelling something? Oh, it's because... I really should stop off the cuff on this because this is getting ridiculous. Okay. Slides. What if we just did slide that image? Would that do what we want? Close. Sort of. Kind of did it, I guess. And I think it's actually the padding on the LI, yeah. So I think if we were to do... Okay, so all I did was I changed it. Instead of trying to do slider image, I did slide image, which the slide is actually the LI, which is within the slides unordered list. So we're going to do slides, which is the child of slider. We're going to say width is 100% just to do that. Height is auto. This is a little redundant, but responsive can get ugly sometimes. So let's go ahead and do width is 100%. Height is auto. We're going to say margin 0 pixels. Oops. Padding 0 pixels. Save that. And then, list style type. That should do it. Dang it, why didn't it do that? Why didn't I take that? Did I get, was it a, oh, I did an ID. Dang it. Well, that's what I get for not sticking to my own. So there we go. So now you have a full width image, and we're starting to look like a website now, which is awesome. And we're, 24 minutes in. Dang it. Alright, so we'll come back to actually that in a bit. But while we're here, we're going to say slide. Did I call it content? No. So... slide P is equal to width, we're going to say 70% of its parent, and we're going to say margin 0 pixel auto. So it's going to be 70% of its parent and, just in case, display block. And we're going to do the same thing. Although we're not going to set a width, I don't believe. So then for slide.a, we're going to do display block width. Actually, we're going to do min width is equal to 200 pixels, margin 0 pixel auto. And there's the very basic gist of that. We'll do font size is 18 pixels. Color is that gray color, which is not that gray color, which is this gray color, 73s. 73. Alright. I'm also going to do margin. No, here we go. We already got a margin. So we're going to set the top and the bottom of the margin to 10 pixels. And then we're going to do background is equal to we gotta go up and grab our green again. And then background is equal to that. And then the color is equal to white. White. which is also FFF. Why is that? Oh, I forgot my semicolon. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to throw some padding on this. Now we're going to all the padding. We're going to do 10 pixels of padding. And font size, we're going to do 16 pixels. Font weight, bold. And then we'll do, what was the other thing? Font size, font weight. Oh yeah, text transform to uppercase. And then the last thing we need to do is text decoration, none. Alright, let's see what that does. That's not bad. I think we need to text align center because, yep, there you go, perfect. This is not quite perfect. I'm not quite feeling that. We probably need to shrink the width of that thing up a bit. That's closer. We also need to throw a text align center so we match the styling of our PSD, which is good. Except for the padding isn't taking on that, or the margin. I wonder why. That's weird. Let's inspect our element and see what's going on here. Shall we? Well, I guess it's got 10 pixels. I'm going to throw more on our roof. See what that looks like. Perfect. That's exactly what it looks like for the most part. Alright. That is that. So we'll save that one. Alright, so the next row is the About Us row, correct? Yes. Alright, so this one we're going to actually add another class because this one has a background color. So we'll say about, and so we'll do, come up to our row, right, because we already talked about main.row. So we're going to do main.row dot, no space, about. And we're going to say background is equal to whatever that background color is, which is probably similar to the other ones. No, it's not. Interesting. Okay. So let's see what that looks like. Just briefly. So now we should have a nice, perfect. That's exactly what we need. And then this one we're going to throw a margin on as well because, let's be honest, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels. Alright. Need some breathing room. We're probably going to need a little bit more breathing room than that. And really, I don't want to do that on there, to be honest. I don't like that. That's not what I used that class for. So let's go to our slide A and let's do something about it there. Or let's actually do it in our slides here. So we're going to do top 0 pixels, right 0 pixels, bottom we're going to do 30 pixels, 0 pixels. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Much better. Okay. Breathing room. That's what we needed. So now we're going to hit our About Us section. We're going to do that. About Us with 960 pixels. Margin 0 pixel auto. And so that's going to center everything in there, which is great. Alright, so let's look at our I'm going to set this to 100% and auto and see what happens. And I'm going to set this to, I think it's video, I think it is About Us video. Width is 30%. height is let's see how big this. In theory, this is not a responsive website. So let's actually just grab this entire box here. See what the size is, and that's the exact dimensions we're going to give it. It is 380 by 240. Alright. Width is 380 pixels. Height is 240 pixels. So I'm going to do the same thing here. 380 pixels. I can't remember if there was pixels. No. So it's 380 by 240, basically. That should take care of that. Display inline. And then we're going to do about us.content. I'm going to say width is 550 pixels. Display inline, and that should at least put them next to each other. Let's see what that looks like. No, it didn't. No, it did not. Alright. Well, that's, I guess it's because I didn't give it a width. I did give it a width. The fuck? That's weird. That might be too many. Let's try 300 pixels. Why is that accent so weird? It's actually acting really weird. Why is that? It's not picking up styles anywhere else, right? I'm over 30 minutes for sure, but I can cut out some of that. What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't. Why is it only set that? What the hell? Kind of the inline block? Duh. Okay. Alright, we're getting there. So actually, I think we're going to need to add a inline block to both of these. Inline block. And now they should be next to each other, I believe. Yes, perfect. And then we're going to padding. We're going to do 30 pixels of padding on the top, 0 on the left, or on the right, 30 pixels on the bottom, and 0 on the left. Let's do that. And then we're going to put margin. Actually, before I do this, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels. And let's push away from that video a bit. See what that looks like. It's getting there. It's pushing it down. Is something's pushing it down? That's my question. Is what is pushing it down? Ah, the H2 styling. I got you. Gotcha. So that H2 needs to go. About us. Content. H2. Margin. 0 pixels. 0 pixels. 5 pixels, 0 pixels. Let's do that way. That ain't right. What happened? An H2? I'm not really sure what just happened there. What in the world is going on here? What is happening? So, okay, that makes, so, no, still doesn't make a bit of sense as to why that is popped up there. It is height, 100%. What'd that do? Nothing. Okay, good enough. Alright, so we just need to figure out okay, so we also need to do the same thing for about us. Oops. Content paragraph. I should say. Yes. I'm good with that. I can live with that. I need to know what about this is making it do that. Doesn't make, there's nothing that's pushing that down, I guess is my question. Because I don't really see. Let's try just throwing a float right on this bitch. Because to be honest, it's not quite what we were looking for. Not quite what we were looking for. Oh well, I guess if I took that off, it might not be so bad. So again, I'm going to kind of go against what I'm typically all about. And I'm actually going to throw a float right. Oh. That should do what we want it to do, yep. And then we're going to throw a 10 pixel margin on this. And bump this up to 25, and now we should have a perfect layout. Let's throw our colors in there for our font, for our fonts. Perfect, perfect. We're going to say color is that. That should work exactly like we want it to. Now, there it is. Alright, so I'm actually going to hide the project slider because, to be honest, that is a video all in and of itself by a large margin because that's even more complicated than the regular slider. So we're just going to hide this div projects. Our style dot display none. Right? Okay. Alright, perfect, perfect. So now let's do the footer, and then we'll wrap this video, finally. Alright, so footer is going to be width 100%. Anything else on a header for that? I can't remember. Header width and a display block. Okay. Display block. Alright, so now we should have perfect. Alright, so then within footer we have rows, which I believe are fixed width as well. It is. Alright. So we're gonna say row row, yeah. So we're going to say footer dot row width is equal to 960 pixels, margin 0 pixel auto. So now everything should be that. Oh, well, not quite. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I should probably just hide that whole freaking row, is what I should do. It's not ideal, but I'm also trying to not make you guys sit here for an hour just to style one page. Okay. So that should take care of that. Looking weird. Alright, now we have everything we need. So let's finish this sucker up, shall we? So now in theory, I just did if I did class navigation here, this should just change that to look very similar, which I am actually totally fine with. Totally fine with that. So we're going to leave that like that. The only difference is we're going to probably flip, which is fine. Alright, so let's go ahead and do first child row again. So we're going to do footer dot row first child. We're going to say background is equal to whatever crazy color this is. And there's a lot of padding on this row, as you can tell. Boom. So we're going to go ahead and throw, oh, well, yeah, no, that's fine. Padding, we're going to do 30 pixels, 0 pixels, 30 pixels, 0 pixels. So the top's going to have 30 pixels and the bottom's going to have 30 pixels. Boom. Save that. That color does not look the same. I don't know why it doesn't look the same, but it does not. Okay, maybe it does. Alright, then we're going to do, that's all we needed there. So next we're going to do our H3 and our primary button. So our footer row H3 color is equal to FFF, which is white, and then we're going to say margin 0 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. That should, yeah. 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 50 pixels. I think we're going to do. Let that thing kind of pop itself out there. Yeah. I like that. The only difference is I think I need to make this 20. That's better. Okay. So we're going to do display inline block. And we're going to do footer dot row dot. That's just that's that anchor tag background. That crazy green color, which is right here. Boom, got double hashtags, don't want that. Color is equal to white. Padding is equal to 10 pixels. Text align is equal to center. And we'll say width is 100%. I'm not sure what that's going to do, but let's see what it looks like. I like that. Margin, pixel auto. Let's see what that does. It's probably going to break the shit out of it. Let's do display inline block. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, not quite what I was looking for. See if we can do inline and see if it does what I want it to do. It's actually not even margin right. I'm actually just going to float this one too, to be honest. Float right. Because it's kind of, oh, I see. I think I should be able to take that off. If I do, yep, okay, perfect. So as I'm diving into the footer here, oh my god, I'm at 50 minutes. This is ridiculous. So as I'm diving into the footer here, I did notice that I kind of, I'm going to have to kind of upgrade our stuff, basically. And mainly because we have this full width, and this is not going to stop at 960, this full width black bar, then this is going to be stuck to 960. So we have to have that content have a wrapper. So we'll say blown away, blown, and div, toot, perfect. That'll work, and then this one will be div class copy, and then boom, div, highlight all that. Alright, now we should be able to build this out correctly. So let's go ahead and do footer is equal to 100%, and then we're going to do footer dot row with 100%, display block again, and we're going to do footer row first child. We're going to do background is equal to, no, I don't think that's it. So let's jump over here. Let's snag this color. Good. Hide Photoshop and kablam. That should do it. And then we're going to do blown with 960 pixels. And we're going to say blown, blown dot h3, I think it ended up being, will be let's throw some padding on this too. We'll say 30 pixels top, 0 pixels on the right, 30 pixels on the bottom, 0 pixels on the left. That should work. And then here we're going to do margin, nothing on the top. We'll say nothing on the right, nothing on the bottom. We'll say 50 pixels there. That should work. We'll say color, is it white? Let's see what that looks like. Look alright. Looks pretty good, except for we didn't margin pixel auto this. 0 pixel auto. Alright, now it should pop to the middle. Perfect. And then what I did notice is we probably need to drop this down to 20 because of all the padding happening inside of it. Perfect. Again, perfect. Keeps being perfect. So then this H3, we're going to do display inline, and then we're going to say balloon. It's not a paragraph, it's an anchor tag. I'm going to say float right. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So then we're going to say background is this crazy green color that I got to find again. Come on, there she is. Copy. Paste. Color is going to be white. FFF. And then we're going to do, let's see, padding is 8 pixels. See what this looks like. That's not bad, except for the I think the padding is jacking it up. Sadly, I'm not really sure why. But I think if I turn that off, it'll jump up, yeah. Which is kind of weird, to be honest, but we can fix that. It's kind of ugly, but just in the interest of time, we're going to do -5 pixels from the top. Then we're going to throw it 40 pixels from the 30 pixels from the right, 0 pixels from the bottom, 0 pixels from the left. Let's see what that looks like. It's close. Let's try it. -10. It's getting there, though. It's getting there. There we go. Perfect. All right. So then the last thing we have to do is .copy is width 960 pixels. And then margin is 0 pixel auto. That should fix a lot of the problems, truthfully. And then we're going to say, so that worked. So then we need to do copy, paragraph is display inline, right? Yeah. Do copy UL. We're gonna call it float. All right. Let's see what that looks like. And there we have it. So the only thing we need to do is we need to put a little bit of padding. So we're going to say 20 pixels, 0 pixels on the right, and 20 pixels on the bottom, and 0 pixels on the left. Oops, 0 pixels on the left. Let's see what we got here. I can kind of get down on that, I guess. The only difference is we just need to drop the margin on this, I believe, which is set just to kind of show you guys how this works. So I'm kind of leaning on classes from above us. So those classes, which you see, oh, well, you got the copy UL, which floats right, but it's also got this navigation class, which is from way up here in our header. It's got that margin in there, so you just got to overwrite it in this UL. So we'll do margin 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels. Perfect. That should do it. That should wrap us, I believe. And that is a beautiful story. Okay. So yeah, that was a little bit long-winded, and I apologize for that. But we have our first page laid out. In the next episode, we're going to build the main slider, and then depending on how long that takes, I'll either do it in that episode, build the project slider, or the next episode will be the project slider. And I'm going to show you how to build them from scratch. I'm not going to go get a plugin and show you how to do it. I'm going to show you from just very generic JavaScript or jQuery to a live moving slider. So thank you guys. Again, I apologize for the length of this video. It took a little longer than I thought, but I wanted to cover as much as I possibly could and actually show you guys what's going on. As always, I really appreciate you guys watching. Please, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe, like, all that. It definitely helps. Take care, DIYers.